Hello students, in this module I'll be talking about the process of transcription. Once again, look, listen and learn. So let us see how does transcription takes place. Is that okay? Now the process of transcription involves three basic steps, and these steps are initiation, elongation and termination. Now remember, for initiation we require an initiation factor sigma. Is that okay? For the process of elongation, we require the key enzyme called as RNA polymerase or RNAP. It's a short form of it. I'll be using it several times ahead. And finally, for the purpose of termination, we require a termination factor, which is the Rho factor. Is that okay? So please remember, initiation will happen with the help of sigma factor, elongation will happen with the help of RNAP, and termination will happen with the help of a Rho factor. Now remember, I'm specifically talking about the process of transcription in prokaryotes. Is that okay? Now, moving on. Let us see how these three steps actually occur. Okay, so let us understand or consider a molecule of double-stranded DNA in prokaryotes. Assume this is that molecule. I'm going to put its polarity. You can see how the two strands are 3' to 5'. Remember, that was your template strand. You got it right. And the upper strand, which is oriented from 5' to 3' is your coding strand. You got this right also. Now assume this is the double strand of DNA. Now let us see how the process of initiation takes place. Now remember, for initiation we require the first part of the transcription unit, which is that area on the 5' upstream end called as the promoter. You got it right. Now what happens at the promoter? Now at the promoter will bind your key enzyme called as RNA polymerase or RNAP. Yes, what you see here is that RNAP. Look carefully. It is made up of 5 subunits: alpha, alpha 1, beta, beta 1 and omega. Is that okay? Now if you look very carefully, the RNAP is bound to the sigma factor. Is that okay? As I told you, for initiation, you require a sigma factor. And because sigma factor is absolutely necessary for the binding of RNAP to the promoter, the sigma factor is also called as the initiation factor. Is that okay? Now after the RNAP binds to the promoter, what happens to the DNA? The two strands of DNA separate from each other. Let us see how. There you go. They just got separated, and it leaves an open area out there which is called as the transcription bubble. Is that okay? Now here is where transcription will initiate, and we move to the next step, which is called as elongation. Is that okay? Now we are bringing back the same DNA, right, where initiation has already occurred. Now you will see how the process of elongation takes place. Now what do you need for elongation? For elongation, you require the key enzyme called as RNA polymerase. Is that okay? Now look, according to the base sequence on the template strand, which is right above my head, right, what will happen? The complementary RNA nucleotides are selected and joined to form the mRNA strand. Let us see how it happens. There you go. Look at that 5' end. The RNA polymerase moves on the template strand and produces an mRNA from 5' to 3' end. So what you see there, a molecule in that gap called as transcription bubble, is a molecule of mRNA strand. Is that okay? And this is how the process of elongation takes place with the help of RNAP. Now comes the final step, which is called as the termination. Let us see what happens. I'm going to bring back this same molecule from the previous slide. You've already seen initiation happen. You also saw elongation happen. Now look carefully. Look at that arrow. What do you see? We see that a small part of RNA remains attached to the enzyme RNAP. Now as the enzyme moves towards this other region, right, which is called as the terminator, see carefully, it is on the 3' downstream area. Is it okay? It encounters another protein which is called as the Rho factor. So what you see up here is the Rho factor. Now when the enzyme RNAP encounters the Rho factor, the process comes to a halt or the process terminates. That is why the Rho factor is also called as the termination factor. Is that okay? Now what happens when the RNAP encounters the Rho factor? Look, this is what will happen. The RNAP will fall off, the mRNA will fall off, and the two strands of DNA will rejoin. Is that okay? And this step is called as termination. Is that okay? So the process of transcription involves initiation with sigma factor, elongation with RNAP, and finally termination, which is aided by the Rho factor. Is that okay? And there you go. There we have the mRNA strand synthesized from the DNA template strand. Is that okay? This brings us to the end of the module where I talked about the process of transcription. In the next module, I'll be giving you some more information about this enzyme called as RNAP or RNA polymerase. Thank you and take care.